the internet is so irritating, you guys. Like, cutting off and cutting back on, But it's podcasting. That's what happens when you got a ishy-wishy service and then the salespeople get on the phone and you try to check your signal and they lie to you. Oh, it's because you're on the same phone. How is it that you can take care of 1,000 towers, but my little phone cannot seem to connect? And every time I ask this question, are you talking on the phone that you're this is where it's messing up at? I'm like, yeah, why would I be talking on a different phone? Well, I guess people have 2 and 3 phones, but that is just not my life. So you know what time it is, y'all. It's cutoff time. I'm finna finish up this EDU 20 little known facts about famous entrepreneurs at Forbes.com, and then click into part 1 so you can follow on part 2 where we are and where the site is coming from, and you can read it on your own leisure. So we are at Dick Costolo, Twitter CEO. Although Twitter is worth more than $8 billion, that doesn't mean Dick can't share some laughs, right? The CEO regularly brings his stand-up comedy routine to the stage at local clubs. David Eppersman, Facebook CFO. Taking care of Facebook's finances can create a lot of tension, but David Ebersman doesn't seem to have a problem rocking it all out. David and other techies founded the cover band Feedbomb, for whom he plays the bass guitar. All right. Amancio Ortega, Inditex founding chairman. Now, one of the wealthiest men in the world, Amancio, began as a delivery boy for a shirt fabricator. He paid close attention to his job and moved up the chain until he owned his own textile empire. Carrie Brady, businesswoman. You may be aware that Karen Brady has a diverse set of skills. She is an ultra-successful English soccer executive, a television broadcaster, and a novelist, among many others. But did you know she was voted in the top 100 sexiest women in the world in 1995? Carlos Slim investor. Unlike the overnight success of some tech industrialists, Carlos Slim started small and young. Putting into practice the business savvy his father had passed on to him, Carlos purchased shares in a Mexican bank when he was just 12 years old. Yeah, that's no wonder he's rich. He started saving his money when he was a little something. H. Macy, Macy's founder. The next time you think about the phrase try and try again, remember R.H. Macy. Before the smashing success of Macy's department store, R.H. started 7 businesses that failed. And the last one, Akio Morita, Sony co-founder. Long before he brought you the Walkman, Akio tried to bring the world an automated rice cooker. The product sold less than 100 units and soon drew ire for burning ice. And that is our EDU for our lives. Yes, definitely. So like I said, go back to part 1, the details on how to get to this site on part 1. And then we stopped at, we stopped at Dick on Twitter, CEO. It was just some fun facts that I just came across. I thought it was pretty interesting to find out what's going on in our world, who runs this business thing, who's doing the entrepreneur thing. And it seems like everybody that's on this list took something that they really love to do, that they were passionate about, and they have been dreaming about doing since childhood, and put it into a business. And see, that's the whole purpose of, business in its entirety, entrepreneurship in its entirety, is taking what your skill is and turning it into a career and actually living off of that talent, that gift that you have. And more than ever, people are really coming out in the entrepreneurial fields, are starting to explore where their purpose is. And a lot of times it's not on the 9-to-5, it's actually creating your own. And I don't knock anybody that has a 9-to-5, because some people love to work and help people with their dreams, and that's cool. But what about the people that want to expand, be successful, and move higher and higher as they want with their own dreams? So that's pretty much what stuck out to me. And so when we come back, we're going to do quote for the day and get on up out of here. So stay tuned.
presents another classic.
I been had the juice, no need for a bottle, here is a proof. In it to win it, ain't never gon' lose. You sleeping on me, but you never hit snooze. I been had the juice, I am the truth. No need for a bottle, here is a proof. I been had the juice, no need for a bottle, here is a proof. In it to win it, ain't never gon' lose. You sleeping on me, but you never hit snooze. I been had the juice, I am the truth. No need for a bottle, here is a proof. You sleeping on me in this game we play, there's no referee. This real life, no EA, ain't no contest for me or competing. Cause any track I'm on views, I demolish from a lyrical beating. I gave my hello way more than a greeting. These other artists, I'm about to be shredded for the feasting. Showing the game some talent, about to break these rookies back into pieces. This new era of rap ain't nothing but feces. Been nice to you for a while, gave my gestures of the good to the greedy. I ain't selfish, I'm selfless. Been had a juice, grab a paper and pen, the teachers in session. I been had the juice, no need for a bottle, here is a proof. In it to win it, ain't never gon' lose. You sleeping on me, but you never hit snooze. I been had the juice, I am the truth. No need for a bottle, here is a proof. I been had the juice, no need for a bottle, here is a proof. In it to win it, ain't never gon' lose. You sleeping on me, but you never hit snooze. I been had the juice, I am the truth. No need for a bottle, here is a proof. Hold up, let me pull Mac down, bring Money Mac out. I'm the finally equation to the question, I'm a solution, no need for a bottle. I'm the resolution, gas and boofing, been had the juice. I told y'all one time, blessing on foot, this ain't Houston, this Cincinnati. Every track I make, pushing like a dope at a Ranger caddy. Father in the game, you call me daddy. Been had the juice without OJ, smoking on stogies, call them fatties. Rolling up Vegas, smoking like the casinos in Vegas. I'm all over the globe, so every trail I'm on, I'ma just blaze it, rearrange it. My flow ain't big, it's quite contagious. Anything you hear Money Mac on, yeah, he quite amazing. How he ain't signed yet, I'm independent, paving my road, it's in the making. In the mainstream throne, Liam Nelson, it's for the taking. This money I'm raking. These other artists out here acting foul, I'm calling out flagrants. I been had the juice, no need for a bottle, here is a proof. In it to win it, ain't never gon' lose. You sleeping on me, but you never hit snooze. I been had the juice, I am the truth. No need for a bottle, here is a proof. I been had the juice, no need for a bottle, here is a proof. In it to win it, ain't never gon' lose. You sleeping on me, but you never hit snooze. I been had the juice, I am the truth. No need for a bottle, here is a proof.
Liquid sound.
What am I supposed to do? Shoot, after we get up off that bed. Shit. What am I supposed to do? 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 With you, with us. What am I supposed to do? After we get up off the bed. Where do we go when we left Music Avenue? Music Avenue. What are we supposed to do when and after we leave Music Avenue? Music Avenue. DUCLIDAVENUE. Music Avenue. What are we supposed to be? Lovers or friends or never again? Are we supposed to be strangers like we never met? But somehow I know something you need a lot. But where do we go when we leave Music Avenue? Music Avenue. Music Avenue. Where do we go when we What are we supposed to do? When and during the time again. And Music Avenue. Music Avenue. we supposed to be? Lovers or friends or never again? Are we supposed to be strangers like we never met? But somehow I know something you need. The block, but where do we go when we leave? Music Avenue, Music Avenue, EUCLIDAVENUE, Music Avenue, Music Avenue. What am I supposed to be? Lovers or friends or never again? Are we supposed to be strangers like we never met? But somehow I know something you need. The block, but where do we go when we leave? Music Avenue, Music Avenue, EUCLIDAVENUE. What are we supposed to do? Music Avenue, with you. Music Avenue, Music Avenue, after Music Avenue, Music Avenue.
What I learned from a millennial, October 19, 2017, by Steve Keaton. And we're going to find that at stevekeaton.me/2017/10/19/what-I-learn-from-millennial. I am often, somewhat too often, would say too often, surprised at how much I have to learn. I'm also often surprised at who I learn it from. Such was the case a couple weeks ago when I was doing a presentation I called Selling Through the Generations. The focus was on the differences of selling to the various generations, with a particular focus on selling to millennials. Usually when I'm presenting to a group, I try to know more about my subject than my audience. If that's not possible, I at least try to help the group use what they know in a more effective way. This group was unique in that there were 7 or 8 millennials mixed in, and I had no doubt that they knew more, way more in fact, about being millennials than I ever could. But I was really just presenting information that came from the ton of research done on generational differences, so I was comfortable with my material. Despite everything you may have read and heard, there are really more similarities between the generations than there are differences. There are, however, some things that make millennials different from their parents' and grandparents' generations. But those differences are not what I'm writing about today. I'm writing about what I learned. There are lots of names for the generation born roughly between 1978 and 2000. Most of us know the generations as the millennials. Some people call them Gen Y, and some people call them somewhat diversely the trophy generation. This term comes from the fact that millennials need a constant stream of recognition or a trophy for coming in 9th place in a 10-person race. Don't worry. In today's world, 10th place gets a trophy too. Yes, it does, doesn't it? I don't remember exactly how we began the discussion on millennials' need for recognition, but somewhere in that conversation, one of the millennials in the room said, "We never asked for a trophy. You just gave it to us." He went on to say that if millennials are indeed the trophy generation, then it was the generations that came before them who made them that way. I've done a lot of research on the differences between the generations and written and spoken on the topic somewhat often, and I have never considered that thought for a second. But a second is about all it took to know that this millennial was exactly right. Think about it. A little kid competing in soccer or a baseball game had no idea that everyone was supposed to be a winner. They didn't know that they needed or deserved recognition for every little thing until some well-meaning adult told them. Boomers and maybe some early Gensers made millennials whatever they are, and now it's boomers who complain about the trophy needing over pampered brats. Millennials are really more like other generations than many people think. The big thing I learned that day is that they have figured out some things that the older generations seem to have missed. I don't think I'll ever look at millennials quite the same again. And that is our quote for the day. Yep, at least we got through that. That was awesome. Thank you for, that article. That was an awesome article. But I'm going to get on up out of here. Boss lady is strong but tired, y'all. And I've been trying to start this thing like 3-4 times tonight. So like I said, tune in to part 1. Part 1 will give you into part 2, which is facts that amazes. Just want to have a little fun, seeing what's popping out there, what's going on that we haven't talked about yet, and had a little fun back in business. And that's really all I had to say. Good afternoon, morning, and evening, and I will see you soon on the next show. Peace.
We are now transferring you to a customer care rep. Please hold the line and we will answer your call as soon as possible. Thank you for choosing us. By the way, to ensure you're getting great service, your call may be recorded or monitored.